Number 1. Graydon Dowling, a young boy from Riverton, Utah, is 10 years old. On a cold December evening, it was around 6 o'clock. This evening, the boy was by himself as he made his way home from baseball practice. He was walking along when he suddenly observed a 2-man, 4-door car lurking slowly behind him. Great, and claimed that after spotting it, he started moving more quickly, at which point the car drew up directly next to him. In a gesture of greeting, the men inside rolled down their windows. To coax him inside, they placed bags of candy in the back seat. Only a few blocks separated this incident from his home. He continued to walk away from them even more quickly after turning his back on the man. He arrives at his home on his front porch. You can actually make out the vehicle in the backdrop as Graydon drew near. He keeps staring over at it as he approaches his front door. When he tries the front door handle, he discovers that it was also locked at the same moment. The reverse lights of the car come on, and it starts to move in his direction. Graydon shouts and grabs hold of some nearby boulders to protect himself. He then sprints to the home of his neighbours next door. He let himself in via their unlocked door and locked it behind him right away. The vehicle can then be seen going around and continuing to pursue him for a while. While waiting for green to return to the outside, the vehicle scans the surroundings. Graydon described the males as being in their 30s or 40s with little facial hair when the police were called and a report was made. The police and Green's family are almost certain that the men tried to kidnap him that evening. Lesson learned here is to always pay attention to your surroundings. Number 2. This woman had just returned from taking her dog for a stroll. She glances to the right as the doorbell video shows someone removing the dog's leash, which prompts her to hastily grab her dog and enter. We quickly discover the reason a man enters the picture and directs his gaze toward the front door. He tries the handle, but she was just in time to lock it. After that, the man begins putting on gloves, and she also mentioned that he was carrying zip ties. Over the following few minutes, he peers into the house and makes numerous attempts at the door handle. A neighbour of hers eventually arrives outside to witness this. He pretends to be working in the yard by picking up a nearby garden hose.
Recording.
The man turns around and approaches the house after the neighbour has gone. He attempted to pry open the back door, which caused the resident to lock herself in a room and summon the police. By this time, the mysterious guy had checked all the windows. He eventually failed to get inside after tearing the screen off one of the back windows. He had fled by the time the police showed up. At that time, there wasn't much the police could do. In the end, the homeowner uploaded the footage to TikTok in the hopes that someone might be able to recognize the man. As far as they could find, no one could. Number 3. This video clip was recorded at 5 in the morning on October 2nd, 2022. It depicts 3 men standing in front of the door to this home. They're brandishing firearms and sporting masks that look like they belong in The Purge. When one of them notices the doorbell camera, he covers it with his hand for the majority of the footage. You can just see his glove. When he pulls back glove from the camera, you can see all 3 men in detail. It can be made out that they are leaning against the wall and squatting down low to the ground in an effort to evade detection. The homeowner was woken by the camera motion notifications on his phone. When he checks the camera feed, all he can see is a glove covering the camera. Not having viewed the preceding video, he turns on the speaker and makes an effort to make out who is on his front porch. The men remain silent. The owner then dialed the police. However, by the time the police show up, the men have disappeared. Many people think that they were attempting to trick the homeowner into opening the door so that they could rob him. Then, Why not make an effort to get him to answer the door when he rang the doorbell speaker? More often than not, they were attempting to pick the lock while the camera was hidden. Anyone's best guess is what they intended to do once they entered the home. Number 4. This video depicts a mother and her children hurriedly collecting their belongings in response to a warning to evacuate. Around the time the incident took place, a wildfire was raging throughout Canyon County, California. You can see smoke and fire looming over the community in the hills behind at the back of the video. They scramble to calm themselves down, but they are unsure of their window of opportunity. Eventually, a guy crosses the street to alert the family of the impending fire. After being taken to a nearby motel for safety, they eventually depart the neighborhood. The fire in and around the house subsided a few days later. They go back and assess the damage. Their house was unharmed, but unfortunately their neighbors' homes were destroyed by the fire. Number 5. A woman uploaded a collection of Ring camera videos to the internet in June 2021. She described how her mother had just recently put in 2 Ring cameras all over their home. One of the first few nights with 2 cameras is mine. The notifications from the motion detector would blow up her phone. When she looked through them, she discovered this. A man was strolling around the house's exterior. She noticed right away and noted how effortlessly he was doing it, as if you were only aware of the house's precise outward arrangement. She was concerned since she knew he frequently walked around peering in many windows, including hers. When she noticed it, she reported it to the police over the phone and then showed up. But by then, the man had vanished. They weren't able to do anything much. They essentially merely instructed her to close all of her windows, blinds, and drapes. She sent him a kind of trap outside her window because she legitimately feared he could show up again. In the hopes that the man wouldn't notice it and would trip over it, making a lot of noise and alerting her to his presence, she hung a piece of rope between 2 trees. A week later, she would hear someone tumble over the rope at 2 in the morning. The same man from previously was standing outside her window staring in as she opened the live camera feed on her phone right away. She walked up to her mother's room after seeing this film and told her about the man. To frighten the man away, the 2 of them returned to the window, opened the curtains, and began banging on the window glass. They made another call to the police. The woman and her mother eventually moved to someone else because the man had left when they arrived. They never heard anything more from police. Number 6. The purpose of uploading this video was to caution viewers to pay attention to their surroundings. The uploader, a lady by the name of Jojo, and her son Daniel can be seen in the video making a late-night trip home. They enter through the front door. A man may be seen in the picture approaching the house once they close the door behind them. Jojo tells Daniel to take a shower, but Daniel counters that he is too tired as they argue. Furthermore, this doesn't cover up the audible sound of someone clutching the front door handle seconds after Jojo had locked it. She sees this man when she glances inside. She yells at him to go and then steps back while still maintaining eye contact with the camera. Where the man is from is unknown. Some people say that he followed the 2 all the way home, while others think that he was calmly waiting for them to come back to the house. In both cases, what would you do if the door was left open? Jojo contacted the police, but by the time they got there, he had left, so it's unlikely that she will ever be able to find out for sure.
Get out of here! There's a guy outside, look!
Number 7. A residence in Arlington, Texas, suddenly exploded as captured on a Ring doorbell camera. On January 1st, 2022, at 2 in the morning, a huge explosion goes off a few homes away. A gas appliance that wasn't completely turned off was said to be what triggered the explosion. Thankfully, nobody was home when it occurred. In actuality, the incident did not cause any injuries. However, there was significant damage. The house sustained significant structural damage, and surrounding structures were also damaged by flying debris. Apartment dwellers across the street reported broken windows due to the blast. Additionally, damaged were parked cars. Numerous calls were made to the authorities shortly after the incident. Number 8. In September 2022, the video in question was posted to TikTok. About 3 in the morning, the uploader claimed his doorbell camera saw a man crossing the street. You can see him on his Ring doorbell camera, wearing some sort of mask with a drawn-on mustache, as he walks directly towards the front porch of the house and eventually ran into the camera. After receiving numerous notifications on his phone, the homeowner ultimately woke up. Through his windows, he observes the stranger trying to open his door and peering inside. He responded by putting on some clothing and running outdoors to face the man. He chose to phone the police and file a report after he couldn't find him, although it's unlikely that anything came of it. The uploader never provided an update, but given that the man was disguised, it's unlikely that anyone will ever be able to identify him.